Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Workshop Studios. And you're wondering, what is this mess? Well, those are solar lights from the yard. And we're going to have some work done around here, and I needed to get them out of the way. But I like to do this every once in a while, where I take the solar lights and check them out and make sure that if they need any servicing. So let's do that. It won't take long at all. All right, so I just bring them in and then start to disassemble them. There's not much to it, and I'll show you how they come apart. And then take the batteries out and put them in a battery charger to make sure they're working. And then put them back together and make sure the lights come on. Sometimes they just have failed. And so not much you can do about that, kind of got to just throw it away.
All right, so this is pretty straightforward. Is you just take these and rotate them, and the top comes off of them. So I try to do that on all these, just take them apart. Every once in a while you find a little surprise in them. Let's see if I can find it here, like this one here. Well, you can see what I'm doing here. So this one, the battery fell out of it, and the lid. So I don't know how that happened, but not a big deal. So, and then I just leave all these set up over here, and I'll clean the glass off of those as well. But that's really all there is to that, and we'll take these over to the bench and work on them. So there they are, all taken apart. And you can see we have at least two, maybe three different styles of lights here. And that's because they'll keep kind of burning out and going bad, and we buy another batch of solar lights. Some of them survive, some don't. And you get this sort of, at least in our yard, we get this odd collection of lights. Anyhow, and they're all a little different, but it's pretty obvious which ones go with which. The size of the ring here will determine whether they can go on there. And then there they are, all piled up, ready to check batteries. All right, so pulling the batteries out is usually a pretty straightforward deal. There's a little tab here. See it there? And pull that up. There's the battery. I usually give it a hit like this, and it just knocks it out of there. Now the other thing is that sometimes the insects like to make their homes up in here, so you can get a bunch of stuff falling out. But so one thing I like to do is just inspect the battery, and it looks good. It's not got any fuzzies on either side. But then what I'm going to do is, I've got a battery charger like this, and I'm just going to put it in there and then just keep adding batteries to it as we take these apart. Let me do one other kind. I like to keep these with them because then I can put them back together. So I also look at the contacts down in here. There. Let's see if I can get a little more light on it. There we go. So the contacts down in here are pretty clean as well. Oh, why aren't you focusing? Come on there. So there's one of the contacts, and there's the other one. That's a little dirty, so I might clean that one up. But it looks reasonable, so I shouldn't have to worry about this one. Now, if I do need to, I could take it apart. There are screws 1, 2, 3, and I can take this off of there, and I can look inside here. But we'll get to that in a minute. So right now, just want to do a quick inspection. Get the batteries out, do a quick inspection. Let's do another one here that may be a little different. See, that's a little different. I've even lost the cover off of this one, but no big deal. Just give it a wham and look at the connections there. That looks good. Yeah, so these are looking pretty good. And the battery itself, I have a bit of an odd collection of batteries too, so another one goes in here. I don't have this plugged in yet, or it would show. Okay, so I'll just keep doing them here. Well, here's an example of one that doesn't look so good. It's a little dirty, and it's looking, see how the plastic is broken on this? Sometimes that means this battery is starting to see better days. So that's the battery side. We'll check it and make sure it's any good. But you can see this side, it looks pretty good. That didn't get beat up by it too badly. So the light itself looks like it didn't get beat up. But the battery is looking a little dicey. So that one may have to get set off to one side. All right, well, we ended up with two batteries that wouldn't even start to charge. So those are both toast. And that's a good reason to keep servicing. We've got these in this charger because this one actually starts charging even if the battery is a little bit off. This one, I don't know if you can see those red lights on there. Let me zoom in here. There we go. When it's solid red like that, this one is charging those, but it's also checking them. So if it starts to flash red, that means that battery won't charge on this one at all. Sometimes if I charge it over here and then put it on here, it's fine. I haven't quite figured that out, but anyhow, I've got all these charging now. I'll leave them overnight, and then we'll reassemble the lights and we can make sure everything's working. I did mean to tell you why I'm doing this. Let me get here. So on these, this is the solar collection part of the system. So it's collecting solar energy through these. And sometimes they charge and discharge so much that the battery doesn't get a full charge in it. And I find that when I service them, if I just do this, it really tops the battery up nicely. This may or may not get them fully charged each time. So that's why I want to put a full charge on them. I want to make sure they're going to take a full charge, but also it helps to kind of put the solar light back into full action. One other thing to show you is that on the surface here, you can see it looks all bumpy and ripply. I don't believe they started off looking like that. They probably started off looking smooth. So I also sand off this top part because I think that's impairing the light from getting down to the actual solar collector. So I'll show you how that works too. Okay, so these batteries are all charged up, and what we can do is start putting them in here, and hopefully we get a nice bright light out of each one of these. And there we go. It looks pretty good. So, and it works. So the other thing I'm testing is if you cut the light off to it, you see what I'm doing with my hand? I'm going to block the light, and this comes on because you don't want this on during the day. You want it to charge during the day, which is what it's doing there. And then when the sun goes down, it comes on. So good. This one's working. Let's do another one here. And that one looks good. Make sure it's working here. Uh-oh. See, that one doesn't want to go off. So this one may have lost its ability to go off during the day. And so I'm going to really shine a bright light at it. Here I've got a nice bright light, and see it's still on. So this one is probably not going to work anymore because it'll keep running the battery down all day long. So we'll put this off to one side. That looks like it's broken. Let's try another one here. Okay. And now that light's not coming on at all. See, I put the battery in there. Let's try another battery just in case, but I don't think that's the problem. Nope. So another one that looks like it's not working. So we'll put that off to one side. Let's try another one here. Well, this one's working, but it seems to have a loose connection or something. Do you see it? It's kind of trying to come on there. Let's try another battery just in case there's something wrong with that one. Oh, that was nice and bright. Okay, so maybe that battery that I just tried, even though it charged up, maybe that battery is not a good one. So, yep, good. See how it's coming on and off? Excellent. So we got another working one. Let's try another one here just to show you how this process goes. So I'll try this battery here, and nothing. Make sure I'm putting it in correctly. That's always bad if I put the battery in backwards. I did put it in backwards, so there we go. Ah, look. Amazing. And that one's working too. So you see I turn it over. Oops, you can't see what I'm doing. So I turn it to the light and it goes off. So we got another working one. Good. I'm going to put that little cover back in there. Just clicks down in there like that. All right, good. So I'll keep going here, then I'll show you what I found out. All right, so I got 7 of them working and 4 that don't go off when the light hits them. So one way to try and fix that, let me zoom in here a little bit, is you can see this kind of bumpy surface on here. And so one way to do this is to sand this surface down, not too far, but sand it down enough so that more light gets through. So we can try that. I'm going to use some pretty rough sandpaper. This is What is this stuff? 60 grit. So that's really rough. You probably see it there, how rough that is. So we'll see what that does. I'm trying to sand mostly in the surface because if I get it over here, then I'll take this paint off. This is more of a, I guess you could say, an experiment to see if this will fix it. Get that right out at the edge. So I'm pushing down with just the... So you see how much material is coming off already. This is kind of a lacquery, I don't know what you call this, protective covering over the actual solar cells in the light. Obviously meant to protect the electronics, but eventually the sun gets to it and can make it so that it's less and less light gets through. So not only does it not go off, it doesn't charge up either because there's not enough light to charge the battery. So this is a last-ditch effort to try and save this solar light. And what I'm kind of doing is sanding till I can see more of the actual solar collector, and you can see it's kind of, you can start to see the definition of it there. So let me keep sanding and then I'll show you what it looks like. Well, so it looks like these four are not going to work. They don't shut off, and I do open them up just in case there's the off chance that I can find something wrong in here that would help. But you know, solar lights are great. They do use the sunlight to make wonderful decorations outside, but they don't last forever. So just get used to the fact that they have a limited life, and you kind of get rid of them. So I think that's going to be it on solar lights. Is that we've got 7 that we got, 7 out of 11 that are working and the batteries are charged, and these 4 will just have to go in the recycler, and we'll get another batch of solar lights eventually if we want to keep topping them up. So good luck with your solar lights, and we'll catch you on the next video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.